You know what's so cool about the gardening community is how many of these people want to share with you. They want to share information, they want to share food, which is awesome. I just want to shout out to a local farmer gardener, Steve Castanon. He sent me some sunflower sprouts. And these are actually my favorite sprouts that I've had to date. I've had a few different kinds. I know there's a whole lot to choose from, but sunflower is my favorite. It has an awesome peppery taste. So if you guys ever see these out in farmers markets or things like that, or you have a really cool friend that will send you some, you have to try them. So I got them yesterday. Most of you know that I'm a full-time teacher, and so I got them at school yesterday, and I was eating them for a snack with my cheese stick, and the kids were wondering what I was eating, so I told them, and a few of them tried it, and they're like, well, this isn't bad. And I thought, how cool, what a neat experience. A lot of these kids would never gonna have that at their house, but they see a teacher eating green sprouts and they want to try it. And I had another kid go get a cheese stick, and he had a little snack with me, sunflower sprouts and cheese sticks. What a great way to model eating healthy, maybe besides the cheese stick. But I thought it was a really neat experience, and I wanted to tell him thank you. And I just think this community is awesome, that we can share, and not just so many good things about it. So thanks again, appreciate it. So welcome to another episode of What's Growing On. There are so many things this honeysuckle's about ready to bust out. It looks way different than it did about eight days ago when I filmed this first episode of What's Growing On. The trees weren't even all the way in yet, and it is so bright green, and all the weeds, weeds have come in, but I think they're pretty. So let's go for a walk and see what we have growing on. Well, this week let's check out the raspberries first. We planted 3 plants, and then we planted a transplanted one, which has tons of new growth. But the problem is these down here have gotten chomped on, so we have to get some more netting like we do on those ones down there to protect this guy. Down here we planted some bare root, or some canes, I guess you would call them. This one is doing awesome. This is one of those fall gold, I think it's called Ann raspberry. This is the only one that's doing anything as of right now. The other 2 just look like sticks still. So we're gonna give it a little bit more time, but we might need to contact the company and tell them about it. And there's just no sign of growth anywhere. But the one in the middle looks super. Look who's gonna get some work done today. Pretty cool. I think they're gonna go get some mulch to mulch the new playground that the boys got for their birthdays. By the way, thanks to everyone for those birthday wishes you sent our way. Really appreciate that. What's really cool about this situation is we have the swing set, we have cardboard down, we're gonna put some mulch down. And here in a couple years when they're done, we move it, or we sell it, or we take it apart, whatever happens, we will use this space as an additional garden space of some kind. It'll be right in front of the raspberries and the grape arbor. So try to think about those things when you're out here on the homestead, how you can use things for dual purposes. Something else that really has started to grow are the grapevines. Zoom in there and kind of see all the little baby grapes coming. Look what's happened in just the past week. Those flowers are becoming little tiny blueberries. I think they are just the cutest thing. Some of our new bare roots are doing great, and I've already pinched off several flowers that are coming. That's what you need to make sure you do the first year when you plant bare root strawberries. Is any flowers that come, pinch them off so the strawberry can concentrate on growing their roots and things like that instead of producing fruit the first year. I showed you all these strawberries last week, and we still just keep getting more and more flowers every day. And now we are starting to see little baby strawberries in there. So just looking down that row, I see lots and lots of flowers. So let's see what's growing on in the garden. It's a little messy right now because I'm starting to transplant out my milk jugs. It is so cool to walk in here and just grab a jug and be like, where do I want to plant it? I love this gardening this way. I've told you all that before. There's one I need to do real soon after I figure out where I'm gonna put on my squash, because my seeds really germinated and they came up well and I have lots. Still have my spinach over here. I planted sunflower there, sunflower, and down here just a few days ago I transplanted from the winter sowing jugs my onions, and I have trimmed them because they were really tall, and I've trimmed them so they can concentrate on what they need to when you transplant them. I have some really small ones up here, but I have probably a whole nother row of onions that I need to transplant out, so my onions are growing. Over here it's a mess because this is where we're gonna set up our tomato trellis system, and I'll tell you guys more about that later. I see some green down here. Let's see what's growing down here. Some lettuce, an autumn beauty sunflower, another autumn beauty, another one, and another one. If you look at this dark part of the hay right here, this is a very wet part of my garden, and I can tell these two sunflowers may have a hard time, but hopefully after the spring rains have come and gone, it won't be as bad. Still lots of asparagus coming. We are not eating any this year. We're letting it grow. And let's check out the peas. Some of my blue shelling peas that I planted late here are coming up. And then my sugar snap peas are doing okay despite some major slug pressure. And I mean major. Pretty sure I lost this one down here. It hasn't rained in a little bit, so I'm hoping that will help me out here. And these peas can get back going. It seems like after things get bigger, the slugs kind of leave them alone. So I'm hoping that happens pretty soon. This lettuce is doing really good, but let me show you something that's not growing. Do y'all remember what I planted underneath this board? Carrots. And there's only, I think, 2, maybe 3 sprouts. However, every time I turn over this board, I find a slug or 2. So I just don't think this is a method I could use out here with how wet it is. I'm gonna give it another couple more days, and then I'm gonna sow some more carrots without the board and see how that does. So this is something that's not growing. The carrot board method did not work this first time. But we're gonna try again, never give up hope. So I want to share something with you all that's really special to me, and it's something that's growing in our wood chips that we planted in the fall. So let me share the story with you. So every year our family in the month of November does something visual to help us remind us of what we are thankful for as a family. We've made thankful trees where we just get twigs outside from the woods, make our own leaves, and write down what we're thankful for. This past year, we took one of our pumpkins that we winter sowed and grew in our garden and harvested, put out on the porch for decoration, and then we used that to write, just took a Sharpie marker and wrote things down that we were thankful for throughout the month. at the end of the month, I think it was actually November 25th, we came out here in the wood chip section. Actually, you can't see the wood chips. Down here, the wood chip section of the garden, and we dug a hole and we buried that pumpkin. And we just kind of, I know it's kind of silly, but we just kind of said a prayer and we thank God for all the blessings that we have in life. And we were hoping that in the spring, new life would come forth. And look what we found yesterday. Do y'all see this? That is from our pumpkin that we buried months and months ago. Oh, and I see another one. I just think it's so incredible that our thankful pumpkin is coming back out. Now I know it's a thing that can happen very easily, but to me, oh look, there's more. To me, this is just super special. It was our first pumpkins we ever grew. First time I ever winter sowed them, and we had cared for them from February until late August, and then we used them in our family, and then we used them during the Thanksgiving season, and then we kind of gave it back to God. And look, He is rewarding us now. So that's a very special moment. I hope you all enjoy that and just see how amazing. Oh look, there's more. It's so cool, so exciting. So down there is our jack-o'-lanterns coming up. If I had known, if I had had enough faith, honestly, that they would come up, I would not have planted this sweet meat squash. So close. So my plan is to have the sweet meat squash go this way, and hopefully my jack-o'-lantern will go this way, and most of this hay will get moved back over the potatoes. So yeah, down here is my sweet meat squash that I transplanted the other day, which I'm going to show you how I did that in another video, and using the food covers to help me do that. I think I'm going to get a food cover and put over my new little sprouted jack-o'-lanterns because I don't want something to come munch on them. Pretty cool though. It's exciting. Do y'all remember those potatoes I threw on the ground, literally, and threw hay on top? Look at that. All those new roots coming out. I'm going to put that back in there. Don't want to disturb it too much. But I wanted to show you. We picked out a couple too, and they are growing. And hopefully in about another, maybe even the next episode on what's growing on, we might see some potatoes starting to come up. Thank you all for joining us for episode 2 of What's Growing On. And I hope you have a wonderful evening, and I hope you all come back.